Welcome back to the Real Estate Den, episode 23. Today we have Tyler and Jamie chatting with us today. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining. We're just going to hop right into it. We'll go ahead and start with Tyler. Tyler, tell us a little bit about you, your business, and what area you service.
Yes, so I am an Atlanta real estate agent. I've been licensed for 6 years, serving the Metro Atlanta and also inside on the city limits. It's been great. 6 years. It's been up and down. We've all had our ups and downs. But business is really good, and we're in a really good place. I'm a lot more of my business is coming as referrals rather than just a new clients, or that's a great way to generate new business for you, or continuing business for you. And so being this long in the business, I'm really glad to say that that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Awesome. Jamie, tell us a little bit about you and what you do, and where you're out of.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We are actually out of Houston, Texas. We are a full scale accounting and tax firm. So we focus on real estate specifically, where a lot of our clients have some kind of real estate base, whether they were W-2 employees to start with and got into, real estate investing or rental properties, or they are, full-time investors where they have a more active role where they're doing fix and flips or wholesaling, or they're agents or brokers or developers. So we really focus a lot on the accounting and the tax planning side of it. We don't just do the data entry for tax returns. We really want to make sure that our clients are served throughout the year as they're making money moves and have some kind of tax implications, that we make sure that we're planning on that throughout the year.
Great. I'm so excited to have this conversation today. Tyler, you had mentioned that you're at 6 years in now. Congratulations. You've officially beat, what is it, 94%, 92%? What do they say?
Something like that, yeah. Of other agents, new agents.
The ones that make it in. If you make it to 6 years, you're in. And you mentioned that you have mostly a referral business now, which is every agent's actual dream. So can you share a little bit about how you've created these referral partners, so only 6 years in the business, you're able to have a referral-based business?
Sure. So very early on, I didn't start out specifically doing residential real estate. I started out as a property manager for about a year and a half, and then I switched into residential sales. So I had a mentor, had a teacher for residential. Didn't really have one for property management, but I didn't really have one for when I got into residential sales. I just kind of was like picking and choosing, grabbing here and there. I was all over the place. I was asking everybody I knew who do you know that can be your realtor, and I was like, pick me, pick me, pick me. And they were all like, oh, my cousin, my sister, my neighbor, my this, my that, my friend, my best friend on my kid's soccer team, the coach on my soccer team is my realtor. Everybody knew a realtor. My pastor's a realtor. It's just like it's just like, wow, like how do you differentiate yourself? And I was just like at a point where I was feeling very, very down. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I switched brokerages at the time, went to a smaller independent brokerage, and it was like, all right, I'm gonna just try to find something new, something different. And COVID had just hit, and so we were all virtual. And as we were virtually isolated and still trying to mask, and here in Georgia, we were like all gun ho, business is thriving, everyone's masked up, we're out showing houses and finding ways to get in homes as best we can. So business never really stops. So I said, how do I differentiate myself? How do I get in front of every other soccer mom's, neighbor to be the realtor people think of? And I don't know what it was. I joined a group and I said, oh my gosh, I just thought about it. Like, we keep telling everybody how Atlanta is a place that's thriving and everybody's moving here and everybody wants to be here. So why not get ahead, connect with other agents in other states, let them know about you, and then they'll refer business to you. And so I was just really diligent about connecting with agents in at least two agents in all 50 states. And I just felt like it was a win-win-win for all parties. My clients would be taken care of. I would get great new client. I was able to refer other people to them. Everyone's going to be well taken care of. And so that's how it grew very quickly. And that became my business slowly, 30, 40, 50, 70% of my business, I'd say at this point is a referral business. So, that's the goal. I was like, that's the way I want to do business. I do not like door knocking. I do not like
You don't like to
cold
door knock
calling.
and infringe on people's privacy during their non-working hours?
Saying, I'm like, I do not want to be on the other end of this call. So why would I want to make this call? Or
Yeah.
why would I be on the other end of this door? So, that's just the goal and that's the game plan. So,
Well, and I love how easy and simple you're like 2 agents every state. There's 100 agents that you're talking to. Talk to 2 a day. Like that is like something any agent can implement right now. If they're like, oh my God, I don't want to make another cold call. They just left, the bold training and they're like, please don't make me call all my friends from high school. Please don't make me. You can just call 2 agents in every state and be like Tyler. That's actually how we ended up connecting. So it worked. I'm your Colorado agent.
right.
Great. Jamie, we'll switch back over to you and switch gears. I have a tax question. What is the number one mistake you see agents making with their taxes? That you see that kind of comes up a lot. Like, what do you see when you're like, oh, this must be a realtor?
Well, you guys typically aren't the best at keeping track of all your expenses and receipts. So a lot of times it's a mad rush at the end trying to get everything together, and then reminding, oh, I need your mileage log, right? Or I need your meals and entertainment, or if you have a home office, we can put that together and I can take a percentage of your overall household expenses. Another thing that we typically recommend for realtors or anyone that's kind of active base, and it really depends on the state that you're in, on whether your broker allows you to get your 1099 to you individually, or if they can do it to an LLC. If we're able to do it to an LLC, we can typically set that up as an S corporation, which allows you to save quite a bit on your self-employment tax. So that's a big tax savings opportunity with the correct entity structuring, depending on, again, if your broker can actually issue a 1099 to you as an LLC versus an individual.
Nice. That makes me feel very happy. I am an LLC S Corp, so I'm very stoked about that. And I do give my agents the option for the 1099. So plug, if you're a Colorado agent, come see me because Jamie can help save you money too.
Yeah,
What
the
you're
only other thing to remember there, and I'm sure you're doing it already, but once you are an S corporation, you do have to make sure that you're paying yourself a reasonable salary for the work that you do. And we have a tool that we utilize that puts kind of a many hats approach on to give you kind of admin type hours and then kind of the more professional type hours, and provides kind of an audit proof report that shows the reasonable salary amount. We want to keep that as low as we reasonably can, because that's what you pay your self-employment taxes on, right? The rest of the income is not subject to that. So we do really want to make sure that it is reasonable, and we have the backup to support it if we are audited, because there are a ton of new auditors that have been hired by the IRS this past year, and that's one of the easy targets for them, because it is a main line item on your S corp return. It says officer salary right on the first line on the first page of expenses on it. So if we have that and it's pretty minimal, and then it shows that you take distributions out, that's a huge red flag for the IRS and an easy audit target.
Ooh, and none of us, we don't like that word, audit. I mean, no business owner does, but especially agents, just a little, good to know.
I had never heard of that. Wow, that was a really great fact. Good to know. Yeah, we hate that word.
Right. And I think it's tough too. It's very IRS, right? To be like, give yourself a reasonable salary. You tell me what you think that is, and we'll let
Yeah,
you know if we think that's sketchy. Like,
Right.
but anything we can to avoid an audit.
great.
We will do.
Absolutely. So Tyler, we've talked about this a little bit off camera and air. You don't drink. Can you talk a little bit about and speak a little bit about like when you quit drinking, what you noticed in your business, and kind of how that just talk a little bit about that, because I am also someone who I quit drinking in March 2020, and I have been in real estate since 2014. So I definitely have drank in real estate because it's one of those, things that are just, there's jokes and there's shirts and all those things
Yep.
about it. So chat a little bit, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I stopped drinking in 21? So January of 21, yeah. Let's get it wrong because the dates were the end of the year. January 21. So what's that now? 2 years, entering about a year and a half, 2 years into the business. No, 3 years in the business. And just was doing pretty good actually. When I was drinking, and was, but my life was just all over the place. I'm not encouraging that. I'm just saying, was still managing to do well. And then just had to put everything on pause. Dealt with what I needed to deal with, and then got right back into it and had a record year, right? Then I had like a record year, and everything, like, it was almost like a light switch, everything just kind of clicked overnight. Business was just coming at me all over the place. Deals are happening, my life is getting better, my relationships are getting better. Just, it's like, wow, like, look at what and then everything since then has just been a trajectory. Everything's just been moving forward. So being in the business where everyone is always drinking, and it's something that I kind of take pride in when I go out with you go out with the guys, you go out for, hey, let's go grab a drink. Hey, do you drink? No, I don't drink. Oh my God, you don't drink? What? It's kind of something I've taken pride in, though, of like, yeah, I don't. If you really want to know, here's why. And just the awareness, and just letting people know that, like, you don't have to, struggle alone, because you never know what someone else is going through. You don't ever know if, like, that other person who is taking that drink is going through the same struggles you went through. So just being open and honest, and just being more aware. And I'm finding a lot more, like, alcohol free, or like mock drinks are being more available at events, which is really cool. Just to kind of, make sure everyone else is taken care of. At the happy hours. And we don't want to stop anyone from drinking, just have a great time, but we're choosing not to.
I totally agree. When I quit drinking, I realized I just like fancy, colorful drinks in fancy cups,
Yeah.
essentially. Like once
Yeah.
once I realized I could just have drinks in, like I said, I could make myself a Shirley Temple and a martini glass, and that was pretty enjoyable for me too at the time, to kind of tell. And 'cause you're not, correct me if I'm wrong, are you involved in any like AA thing, or you just don't drink?
No, 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 I'm not involved in AA.
And
No.
see, I'm not either, and I really like to just speak to that, because I think people feel like they have to like commit to like one or the other. Like you have to like either be chasing your chips down, or like you're just a drunk piece of shit. Like you're there's no
Right.
in between,
Right.
right? Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
there's just like levels of this, and I think it's just kind of responding to you, and like what what you only know your relationship with any substance, right? Whether that be alcohol or chocolate or sugar, or you know what I mean? Like it's,
Right.
so I think that it's just really, it's very, very magical when you see someone who's like, yeah, I'm just not gonna do this. And they kind of do it on their own. Like not poo-pooing AA or any sort of like, obviously like structure, and obviously they help and are a lot of it. But I just think it's cool to, like you said, just to have like those non-alcoholic drinks, and just to have like people who just like, I don't really drink, and sort of like questioning that, just, why are we doing it? But yeah, I mean, when rates were 3%, that was how you made your, you went to the bar. Who wants to
Mm.
refi 3%? Who wants to buy a house? Everybody said,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
move on. But
Oh yeah.
awesome. Jamie, I was wondering, how long have you been in business? Did you say that before, or because I didn't catch that?
I did not. So I've been doing accounting for about the last 15 years. I actually started with the Optimal Financial Group, which is the name of my business, about 12 years ago. I'm originally from Virginia, and I met my partner, who was the founding member of Optimal there, and I started working for him. My ex-husband was actually from Houston and was in the Navy, and we ended up moving to Houston as one of his last duty stations. We have 4 kiddos, and there was family here, so it was super, super helpful, where we hadn't had that in the past as a Navy family. So when we moved here, my partner actually gave me 30% of the company, so that I would run it and stay on. He kind of took a back point. That was a little over 10 years ago. And last year, I actually bought him out of the other 70%. So we are a company of about 15, depending on the season. We've got, our admin staff, our bookkeepers, our payroll specialists, tax preparers, and obviously myself. We have about 1,400 clients, and we do work with taxpayers nationwide. So
That's so exciting. So you've been doing it 15 years, but you've been part of this business for 10 years, and then now you just opened it and it's been 100% as of recently. So I
100%
love.
last year. Yep.
Oh my goodness, I honestly think the best way to be an American is owning a business, honestly. Like that's just the way to do it. So that's very exciting. And kudos to you because the tax business, like I said, that scares the like if you were like Megan, you must go down to earth and own a tax business. Like I'd be like, please don't send me. Like I can't do it. And that's amazing. You have so many clients. And are these mostly all in Texas or do you serve nationwide as well?
I would say now that I moved to Texas, probably about 80% are actually in Texas, but we do serve nationwide, and it's really funny. So when I graduated college, we were in California at the time, and I went to law school for a year because I was dead set that that's what I wanted to do. And I did 1 year, and I was like, this is not for me. Even though I paralegal all through my undergrad and for that 1 year, I was like, this is not for me. So then it was, I think, about 2003 or 2004 at the time. And then I'm like, okay, well, what in the world am I going to do with my life? Because now I have no clue. And I'd always been interested in real estate. So I was like, well, I'll go to school, for real estate agent or accounting. I'd taken one accounting class in high school and I thought I liked it. And luckily at that point, I chose accounting because then, the bubble burst and everything else. And I was in California and that would have been a horrible, horrible move on my end to go into real estate at that time. But now I kind of get the best of both worlds. So
Absolutely. What do you think did you bring anything from law school into how you ran your business or into like the now?
I think I've always had a decent amount of common sense, but I think going through school and learning kind of the contract law and how that plays into everything, I think that definitely helped and gave me more of a business or entrepreneurial type mindset.
Okay. You got to get some of your money's worth from law school, right?
Right.
Jamie, are you hinting that common sense is something that's necessary for your everyday job as a lawyer?
Oh, maybe not so much as a lawyer, but no.
Oh, sorry, as a tax. Sorry. Oh,
Tyler, this is your second career, right?
yes.
What did you do before real estate and what sort of guided you into picking this?
So I graduated from college with a psychology degree, thinking I was going to go and walk out of those Humboldt halls and sign a job application at a therapist's office, and just everything was going to be great. And then life hits you like real hard, real fast. And so through college, I worked at a car dealership, and I decided to go back to the car dealership I had been working at through college. I did everything from service, so it was valet or a car wash detailer. And I came back and I said, "Hey, are there any of those positions available? Just for in the meantime, while I look and find out what I want to do." And they said, "No, but you went and got your degree, congratulations, that's great. Why not sell, these cars?" So high-end luxury cars. It's like, this is great. I'm going to be selling cars. And as I'm doing this, I realized very quickly this is not for me. And not like these long hours. I just had my son. Long hours. I was away, worked holidays sometimes. It was crazy. It was crazy for nothing. And I just wanted to be there, be present for my family. So quickly was like, I gotta find something else. And as I would sit and have downtime at my desk, I was reading, met a customer, walked in, worked with him, saw the books I was reading. He said, that's an interesting choice of books. We connect, we talk. He's in real estate. I'm reading books about real estate. He manages the building across the street. And I'm like, this is incredible. He's got the highest credit score my managers have ever seen. I'm like, real estate is where I need to be. Like, obviously, this is where I need to go. So just to tie it all together, he takes me out to lunch. He tells me, he gives me another book that he found very like inspiring. He just said he saw me in him. And so he gave me a book, and the rest is history. I started working with my father-in-law, who at the time was starting his property management business. So I was like, I'll do real estate. I'll learn both. Eventually we'll make something of it, and the rest is history. So it's been a journey. It's been quite a story.
What book did he give you?
The Magic of Thinking Big.
Ah, that's a good one.
Still to this day, it's still one of my favorite books.
Oh my goodness, that is a really good book. What were you reading that piqued his interest?
I had Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, and I must have had like a faith-based book or something like that, and I'll set that on there.
Nice. I love that. I love a good story of someone like connecting, like when when that all happens, and you actually meet someone who can really sort of like push you and mentor you. Like I just have such massive love for those people in my life too, that just have sort of,
Yeah.
this is, here you go, you've got this.
That's just kind of one of those Disney moments where you're like, it just that the right moment happened. He could have worked with anyone else, and what really would have my life been like? It's just kind of, I don't know. It's really cool to think about.
All aligned you on the path. Jamie, do you have any sort of Disney moments that sort of happened as you were finding where you wanted to sort of be at in your career and your business, and um any cool moments to share about? I love these sort of stories.
So much like Disney moments or something like that. But I really do think, everything happens for a reason in the way that my path went. So it's funny because my undergrad was in psychology as well. So I, I think we all kind of go into the same path, depending on where we started. And we all use that now, no matter what industry we're in, sales for sure use the psychology
Right.
degree. But for me, I'm really big on karma, and everything kind of happens for a reason. And I think everywhere that I've kind of been has helped me advance to where I am now. Right, to meeting Charlie in Virginia, and him having the faith in me to run the business to the point where I could grow it, and then and eventually buy him out and be where I am today. And then when I first moved to Houston, the way that I got really into real estate was I went to a Quest IRA event, which they do self-directed IRAs and retirement accounts. And I met a huge real estate coach there that's actually out of Austin. And I still work with them today. They have, multi-million-dollar company that coaches other real estate people into, doing real estate related activities, and how to be successful at it. And if I hadn't been there that night, I wouldn't have made that connection and wouldn't have got to know them. And that's, where a big majority of our referrals come from today. So I do think that it really is dependent, kind of like Tyler said, about just being in the right place at the right time, and the universe kind of puts you there.
Totally. Yep, I've been just sort of pondering the thought lately of like we chose this existence, we chose where we were, like we are in these. And if you really kind of sit with that and you're like, man, like if I picked this really truly by design, and you kind of sit in that energy, it's a cool place to be. And then you really do start to see the magic of your life and of your business. And it's just different when you are in business and you're out there and you're working for that check versus having it always come to you every couple weeks. You kind of are more in touch with that money as a vibration, rather than money is, kind of coming into your life that way. Do either talk to me about your mornings? Do you have any specific rituals or anything that you do to get started for your day? Do you just kind of hang out and let the day kind of happen to you? Tell us about your mornings. We'll start with Tyler.
So my mornings are pretty special because in a house of there's a family of five, so three little ones. My mornings are my me time, and I like to go on walks, run the neighborhood, and then maybe lift some weights in the morning. But definitely find time to do prayers and devotions. Make time to read every morning. So I give myself about an hour. And then go, go, go. Once everyone's dropped off and at where they need to be, then I can come back and really get my day started. But that's really my mornings are just that focus on physical and both physical and mental and spiritual me. Yeah.
Great. What time do you say do you wake up versus when you start your like work day?
So I get up. I'm up at 5:45. Everything else is squared away. I get started probably about the last drop off. I'd say 8:15, 8:30.
Having that time between waking up and working is just so, like, it's no matter how bad you want to touch every time that I'm like right into work emails first thing in the morning, it's just not as good of an experience.
And I also got with the transaction coordinator, excuse me, and that has helped dramatically. I mean, that just leaves a lot of the busy work that I would do it mostly in the mornings, knocking out those little things, making the calls in the mornings, having those morning meetings. it made it so that it was just more fluid. My day was more just not scrambled, and my mornings weren't rushed either. So just definitely having someone to handle more of the paperwork or more of anything in our business goes a long way.
Oh yeah. I would die without my transaction coordinator. I'm just being honest. Like I think I did it alone for like a year and a half. And then I finally hired her and I said, what have I been like,
Yeah,
who,
why? Why
why?
would I do that to
Right.
myself?
Yeah, exactly. Why do I hate myself? Like, why did I just, yeah, it's, oh my goodness. I tell her every time she like calls me like, hi, beautiful. How are you? You're the reason I breathe. Like, please never fire me. Never, I will be,
Oh,
should I send you flowers? Like you are the angel of you're my angel wings or something. Like if I was a dude, she probably would have had a restraining order on me, but,
that's
um,
hilarious.
I, shout out, get a good TC. Jamie,
Yeah,
what do
shout
you,
out to all the good TCs.
oh yeah, just, and then I always feel bad when people are like, "Oh, I had a bad TC." I'm like, "Keep trying. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's better to have loved than lost than to have never loved at all." Okay, you
Yes,
gotta
yes,
just find the one that works for you because it's
just on
better,
the one.
life changing. Jamie, tell us a little bit about your mornings, or a lot of it, whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I'm not a big morning person. I'm making kind of a well-oiled machine right now, but I'm not the most pleasant in the morning. I have to have my coffee first. That's pretty much like, I'm a wife, a mom, a business owner, so the husband gets, a kiss and a good morning, and then I head out the bedroom, and I've got my two younger ones here who are in 6th and 8th grade now, so I make their lunch, and get them out the door. The high schoolers are already gone at that point, but get them out the door, finish my coffee, and then I'll sit down and go through my emails and get through that. I, like you, I don't have a transaction coordinator, but I have my office manager and my assistant office manager, and they are, a godsend, and make sure that my calendar is not crazy, that I don't overextend myself because I typically say yes to everything. And they have to, keep me keep me in line. But I don't set any client appointments or new consults or anything until 10 o'clock. That way I can get through all of the emails that I need to get through and make sure that I don't feel bogged down going into the office initially. And then I go from there. And when it's not tax season, it's pretty, it's nice. I'll work, from the office if I go in from 10 to about 3, then come home and do my gym time. Work maybe a little bit more before it's time to make dinner. Tax season, though, I mean, I work from 6 a.m. to 8, 9, 10 p.m. So then it gets a little crazy, but these are the nice times.
My grandpa's a CPA, and so he's the one who's been doing my taxes. And I remember growing up in tax season, and my mom would be like, March and April, just be very calm with grandpa. Grandpa is a little bit grouchy right now because he's working a lot. This is the time he works a really, really lot right now. And then it's not normal, but like I said, I'm thank God for good accountants, man, especially from a business owner and a real estate standpoint. What if you guys could go back to before you started your businesses and tell you what, if you knew then what you know now, what is one piece of advice you would tell yourself?
So for me, I would say it's hard, right? Because when you're first in business and you're first gaining your clientele, you kind of take everyone and anyone no matter what, right? And that can be hard because not everybody is the best client for you, right? You're never going to mesh with everybody no matter how hard you try. So in the beginning, we had clients that we probably shouldn't have had. And at that point, if I could have said no, I probably should have. And now we're blessed, to the point where if we have a problem client, I can tell my office manager, get rid of them. If you got a client that you're having to chase constantly for invoice payments, or they're always the last one, in on April 15th at 10 p.m., even though you've been bugging them for months. We don't need those clients anymore. So if it's possible, but be a little more selective.
That's great advice. Totally. I love that. Tyler, what would you go tell yourself?
Oh, I'm just sitting here thinking, like, what would I not say? One thing, man. The one thing probably would just be starting out in this business. Your brokerage matters. Like, just go find the right broker. I jumped in real quick, talked to one guy. He sounded great, sounded like everything I needed, didn't look at anyone else. Just jumped in. So, but now that I've been at different brokerages, as I've gotten more and more and more experience, it's not that the brokerage necessarily, everyone always says the brokerage makes you, or it's not the brokerage that makes you, you make the brokerage, and vice versa. And you as an agent, it should be about you. The broker should be about you, and it should be about you. And so we kind of get lost in what about, like, if I kind of feel like as I got more experience, I got lost in, like, I want just everything I can get from my broker, and then not give anything back to my broker. So I think that was very important for me to just really sit back and think and say, like, who I'm with now, I love, and I think if I had been with them in the beginning, I think things would have been a lot different.
What do you recommend for looking for a good broker? Like what's the difference between a good broker and a bad broker?
Just a good broker is someone that just provides support, the resources, the tools, education, answers your phone. Like, the communication is huge. Like, deals go south on Easter Sunday, right in the middle of the church service. They go south on a Friday night before you're going out, with the guys or girls. Like, deals happen all the time. If you can have someone who is at least moderately available. I'm not like saying stop what you're doing on Sunday night or Easter Sunday and call us, but just having someone moderately available goes a long way. But then also, just, I say all that, but then they have to follow up with it. That's the key. Like, a lot of brokers say they'll give you this and give you that. Following up, though, means, like, hey, that deal closed, great. They call you about the deal. How's this deal going? How's this deal going? What's going on? What's going on? And then when the deal's done, you don't hear from them until they want you for a next deal, or you're in another deal and they call you. So actually just following up and just saying, hey, how was that? What could we have done different? Things like that really go a long way. But actually acting like you care, really, really goes a long way.
I agree. It makes me so sad as a managing broker that, like, that's the standard. Like, they're like, look for someone that calls you back. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's be a little, but yeah, I mean, that was part of the reason why I went out on my own, because I was like, man, if you ain't gonna pick up my call anyway, and I'm gonna figure it out, then I'm gonna be a call for another agent who's behind me, who can, who I can help. But yeah, I love all of that, and totally true. Your brokerage owns your contracts. Like, you should have a good relationship and a good vibration and, like, a good understanding with them, even if you're not. I understand that there's people who are like, I don't want to be friends with people I work with. Okay, like, fine, but you gotta be friendly. You gotta like each other. Like, you're literally sharing, business. So I love that, and I'm so glad that you are now with a good brokerage and broker where you feel like he's taking care of my aunt and uncle out there in Georgia. So I know he's doing a good job, and I know his broker's great because I'm hearing good things.
Yes.
Great. Jamie, where can our listeners find you if they would like to continue this conversation or learn more, or just take the tax load off of their back? Because if you're a realtor, you should not be doing your taxes, and you should be calling Jamie, because just don't.
Awesome. Thank you. So we have a website. It's www.theoptimalfinancialgroup.com, or you can find me on Facebook. It's Jamie Finnen-Gratzer. Or my phone number is 281-288-9982. And anybody says they heard the podcast today, we do a complimentary 15-minute consultation just to get to know you and know your business, and give you some pointers right off the bat, and then go from there.
That's a screaming deal. That's great. Thank you. We haven't had a deal like that yet. Thank you. Tyler, where can they find you?
I'm on Facebook, Tyler Chenault. That's my first and last name, TYLERCHENAULT. On Facebook, LinkedIn, I think I'm on Twitter. Where else? Instagram. My Instagram handle is my first and last name without the vowels. So it's TYLRCHNLT. It's always fun saying. It's easier spelling, but fun saying.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you at the next episode.